when I came up into the game, my parents would speak to me about Ruby Dee, Ozzie Davis, Muhammad Ali. They were like, you know, your platform, especially as a black woman, a black person, it's something you should wear with pride. When you come into the table, it needs to be something that our people can be proud of. Right. So, like, I wanted all that to be in the back. So when everything was coming out, you know, I was like, I don't want to say this because this is not what I want to bring to the public. But then it became so much that, you know, it was just my life. So when I did the album, it was not addressing, protecting, it was just kind of like this, I've got to tell my story. But I wasn't happy with any of those things. I don't condone any of the things that people saw. I hate that they had to see any of that because that's not what the imagery I want. You know, this is your girl Akila. But at the end of the day, that's why I had to move the way I had to. That's why I had to call the lawyers, handle it. Exactly. Because this isn't correct, you know, and that's important to me. But I did it the way that I felt it should have been handled, in the courts, in private. So when the public thing happened, that ain't me. That ain't my tea. That ain't my judge. You're going to learn more about me through the work that I do and the things that I think are worth bringing to you. My life troubles, a relationship, I felt like that was petty. That's how I felt.
Now, you talk about healing through this album, right?
Yes.
Why was this album healing to you? And did you see outside healing as well?
So what do you mean by outside healing?
Therapy.
Oh, yes. So I've been in therapy since I was like 17. Okay. Not consistently, but I started the therapy thing and like knowing that was a normal thing to do at about age 17. So I love therapy. I was in therapy before, after, you know, whatever. Why the album was healing for me was because, you know, again, we talk about the inciting incident of the Usher concert, but the inciting incidents of love changed me and made me start seeing myself differently because it shows you who you are. The closer you get to people in relation, you start to see sides of yourself that you maybe have forgotten. Right. Yeah. So there was a level of fragmentation from just being growing up in the show business that I hadn't addressed either. I got piles of shit in the corner, you know, that I hadn't dealt with. So all of it brought me back to me. And that's why I think it was ultimately healing, because it was healing that Keke that used performance as a way to bring joy to her family that grew up in poverty. It was healing that girl that realized that the world doesn't really see me for who I am, but I'm gonna keep performing anyway till I can buy my way to my own stage and be able to tell my full story on my own time.